Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
We're going to have an intern sit in with us over here, okay?
Okay.
Right there. Why don't you have a seat, please? I'm glad to see you decided to come back and complete the interview. I know that it can be very difficult to discuss such personal issues with a stranger, but please know that we are all here to support you and to help you to figure out the best course of action to proceed in the matter of your divorce. Now, also from the message I got from you, it seems that your parents are able to help you with the retainer.
Yes.
So we can talk about that later in the meeting. But right now, I think it would be helpful if we started where we ended last time. Now, you were telling me what your husband had said to you when he told you he was leaving the marriage. Now, again, I know this is very painful, so take your time, but it is important that you give us a clear sense of what happened, as this will help us to understand what issues are likely to evolve as we continue with the divorce proceedings. Lastly, I wanted to ask if you had completed the financial intake form.
Yes, I have.
Great. We can review that towards the end of our meeting. So, why don't you pick up where you left off last time?
So, as I told you, my husband really discouraged me from pursuing my dreams in order for me to stay at home with our children. I didn't think he was like this. After our first child was born, he said it brought up a whole bunch of childhood issues. That his mom had to work all the time after his father passed away, and that left him feeling like a parentless child, and he didn't want our children to be raised like that. So after our second child was born, that's when I began to give up my dreams. Carl was working all the time, so I thought. And although he was only violent with me for that one time that I mentioned, that experience left me scared of what he might do if I pushed the issue.
Now, if I understood what you started to tell me the last time you were here, it seems that your husband sees things somewhat differently. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Now, can you try and explain what he told you when he said he was leaving the marriage?
It was a total lie.
It would still be helpful for me to understand what he was saying, as these issues are likely to resurface as we try and resolve the issues between you.
What do you mean, resolve the issues between us? He cheated on me. The marriage is over.
I'm sorry. Let me be clear about that. I don't mean resolve the marital issues between you. That clearly isn't my job. What I meant, and I'll certainly go into greater detail about this as we proceed, is a divorce case doesn't just involve dissolving a marriage. As part of the case, we'll need to address the custody of your children, as well as support and property issues. Now, in most cases, the lawyers try and work out an agreement on these issues rather than having to go to trial and have a judge decide them.
Oh, I see. All right, so after I sacrificed for our marriage, he comes and tells me that he's going to move in with this Miranda woman, that I'm no longer the woman that he once married, that I lost my ambition and drive, and he said that I've given up on my dreams of going to nursing school, that I'm fat and lazy, and even though I'm a good mother to the kids, I don't care about anything except for sweets and soap operas. As if those lies weren't enough, he said I was a terrible role model for our children. And this Miranda woman with her MBA climbing up the corporate ladder with her stupid suits is a better role model for our kids, better role model for our daughter. The jerk totally denied that he basically begged me to stay at home with our kids and even got violent about it. He says that he does remember slamming me against the wall, but he said it had nothing to do with us fighting about nursing school. He said that he was drunk and he was stressed out about work and that I didn't want to listen to him, and that's when he just totally lost it.
Thanks for explaining this. I can see why you got so upset the other day when you began to tell me about this. Now, I'm sure that I'll have some additional questions as we proceed, but I'd like to use our remaining time today to just talk a bit about the divorce case and also to review the intake form that you brought home with you. Now, if I understood correctly, your husband hasn't yet filed for divorce and you're ready to make the first move in this regard.
That's right.
And that you want to file a no-fault divorce.
Yes.
Okay. So let's begin to talk about the issues that we'll need to resolve as part of the divorce case, starting with custody. Am I correct in assuming that you would like to have custody of the children?
Of course, I'm the mother. He hardly sees the kids. He's always with this Miranda woman.
Can you tell me a little bit about his relationship with the kids and what you think he might be planning to ask for in terms of custody and visitation?
Well, as you know, he works a lot, but he's a pretty good dad. He does love the kids, but he does have a temper. He doesn't hit the kids, but he might. He's a little short with our son, Jack, who does have a learning disability. Okay. And, I'm a little... This is embarrassing, but I need to tell you this.
Tell me what?
Well, Jack doesn't quite seem to be like the other boys.
What do you mean?
Well, he hates sports, which is really upsetting to Carl. He's a real jock. He likes to paint, and,
Listen, I know this can be difficult to talk about, but the more information you can give me, the better prepared I'll be to help you with your case.
Well, he likes to play with his sister's dolls, and he likes to wear her skirts. Mm-hmm. I don't really worry about this. Things have changed a lot, but Carl can't stand this. And I do worry about how he's going to relate to Jack as he gets older. I don't think he can handle it if Jack was gay. I don't think I can handle it, but he is my son. I love him no matter what.
So what do you think Carl will be looking for in terms of the children, and what would you be comfortable with?
Well, first of all, he can visit the kids. I don't have a problem with that unless he has a problem with Jack. But he's not going to have full custody.
Do you think he would want custody?
Well, considering all the things he said about me, yeah. I think he thinks this Miranda woman is better suited to raise the kids. Well, there's no way this woman's going to raise my child.
All right, well, this gives me a basic sense about how to approach the custody issue, but it sounds as though this has the potential to get messy. So why don't we turn to the financial aspects of the case? Child support is pretty straightforward as it's determined by mandatory guidelines. So let's talk briefly about spousal support and the division of your assets. Were you able to complete the financial information section on the intake form that you brought home?
Yes.
Great. Let me just take a quick look at this. All right, good. Well, this gives me a clear picture. I'm afraid that we're going to need to get more details about Carl's pension and the other assets that the two of you own, but this gives me a good initial overview of your financial picture.
Oh, good. Well, you know what? All I can say is that he better give me support because I totally lost out on a career because of him. I could have been an experienced nurse making a decent salary, and now after putting all this time into the family, I'm worthless in a job market. And he's where he is because of my sacrifices. You know, as far as the asset goes, I'm not really worried about that. We don't really have much. Not that he moved in with his girlfriend. The decent thing he did was give me the furniture of the house. We each have a car. Even though he does drive the better car, I think I deserve the better car considering I'm the one that's driving the kids all over the place. Let him drive that crappy car to work.
I'll have a clearer sense on how to approach the property issues and what you're entitled to under the law after you both complete the financial statements that have to be filed with the court as part of the divorce. Now, we may need to follow up with discovery to get more detailed information about Carl's workplace benefits as well as such things as his stamp collection.
So what will happen next?
If you decide you'd like to proceed with our firm, the next step would be for my paralegal, under my supervision, to draft a divorce complaint, which would then be filed with the courts and then served on your husband. Now, once this is done, we'll be able to go over to the court and get you temporary custody, as well as temporary child and spousal support orders. Now, we'll be in touch with you about all of that once your husband has been served the complaint and he has hired an attorney.
Okay. Thanks. I would like to go ahead with the divorce and hire you as my lawyer.
Excellent. Now, I'm afraid I have to get to court right now, but I'm going to have my secretary leave you a standard retainer agreement, and you can look it over, and then we can meet first thing next week and get started.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. Take care.
Thank you.